Good afternoon, everybody. We're going to call to order our special meeting of the Mason County Board of County Commissioners for October 29, 2019. We'll begin with our Pledge of Allegiance, and Gordy, if you wouldn't mind leading us.
Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Okay, moving on to item number 3 on today's agenda. It's an open forum for citizen input. It's an opportunity for members of the public to address the commission. If you have any comments that you would like to make, raise your hand. The chair will recognize you. Come forward to the podium and make your comments. Any public comment? Okay, seeing none, we'll move on to item number 4. We have a Cushman Road reconstruction project update from the U.S. Forest Service, and invite District Ranger Yuval up to do the presentation.
Thank you so much, Commissioners, for inviting me here today to be able to share the information on this project. I believe this project will have quite a bit of interest to the local community and visitors to Hoodsport. Wanted to share, for those who travel up and down the 24 road, Forest Service Road 24, or what we call the Cushman Road to the staircase entrance of the Olympic National Park, you'll, I think, it'll resonate with you how the road condition is often potholed, it's very dusty, there's often a lot of congestion on sunny, warm weekends, and we have an opportunity now to provide a remedy to that solution. Through a partnership between the Forest Service, Tacoma Power, the National Park Service, and Federal Highways Administration, we have gathered approximately $4.6 million at this point to resurface the road and add safety improvements along that road. So this project also fulfills the relicensing agreement that Tacoma Power has to improve water quality to Lake Cushman. So some of the components is the asphalt surfacing, culvert replacements, public safety around the most popular day use sites, as well as rockfall mitigation along the slope side of the road, and with some of the road, the striping, being able to delineate what is parking, available parking, and what is the roadway of which must be left available for vehicle travel. I want to share that I've left handouts that have on the back a map of our anticipated project scope, which is what we hope the money we have secured will be able to pay for. So it's from State Highway 119 to the Causeway. We don't expect that those funds will be able to pay for the remainder, what we call the Bear Gulch Day Use site, and to the park boundary, and hope that we'll be able to secure funds for that in a separate phase. I also have left business cards if there is any interest in subsequent follow-up. So in addition to this, we also will be, as part of this project, installing conduit for the Park Service to be able to run internet lines and just utility lines along the road to service staircase entrance. I do want to highlight here that this project will have some short-term impacts to residents that live along the road and use that road to access their residence. And particularly during implementation, it will require full closure for the construction. And in the handout, there includes some pictures of the Park Service road reconstruction that they did recently and what that looks like. So we expect our project to look similarly, and given the narrow roadway corridor, it doesn't allow passage with that construction equipment and the trenching required for the utility conduits. So we anticipate, or we're hoping, that this would occur in the summer of 2020, given some of the regulatory compliance and permitting required to go to contracting. If that is delayed, it could be pushed to the summer of 2021. We are excited that this project is finally coming together, and I hope that this will provide a lot better service to the visitors of Lake Cushman and the community of Hoodsport, who provides a lot of the services and recreates in this area. So with that, I want to open it up, see if there's any questions I can answer.
Just a quick question.
Sure.
As far as the closure, are you going to, the closure going to have since start at the end of asphalt? And then build approximately the entire length, and that is from July until September?
Currently, that's our expectation, yes.
So that you won't be opening up phases or anything like that?
No. Everything that I've heard from the engineering and contractors, it's required to be able to complete the project within the summer.
I can imagine. In fact, I'm
Yeah.
general manager of the Lake Cushman maintenance company, and
Yeah.
having that closed is going to be a nightmare for us. Thank you.
Do you have any idea when you will know if the project will be postponed until 2021?
We're in negotiations right now with the other agencies that we're needing to get permits from to see if there's a way to expedite that process. Currently, the designs that we've been getting from the contractor through federal highways is more extensive than currently is allowed to go through an expedited process, and so we're trying to negotiate as to whether if we can adjust in any way. If you're interested, you can take my card and give you updates. Yeah.
Is anything going to be done to address the issues of Party Rock?
Yes. So with this, there's the lane striping, so that would help enforce parking, and when that's parking along sort of in narrowing that roadway, and this is a common area. We are also requesting that there be a barrier, a guardrail along the lake side of the shore around the rock there to help. I think that will control the numbers of people who can gather. I don't think it will necessarily solve the entire problem, and I think it'll be a work in progress, but I think it should help substantially.
Have you considered maybe making a connection with this group that's doing the work?
You want you to speak.
It is on. Yep. You just got a bad mic this time. Have you considered making any type of arrangement so that you can connect these contractors with the maintenance organization during emergencies? Even when they close something off, it's not always completely closed.
Right.
They can, by making that connection, you can avoid some of that shared hectic here. That's a very good point.
Yes, yeah, so please, if you can grab my card and I can help with that. The park has also discussed there might be particular circumstances where they need administrative access, and we can figure out how
That's great. I mean,
what
currently,
opportunities are.
just give you some perspective. Currently, we don't cross Tacoma's dam. We have to go all the way around to maintaining Cushman Ridge River. It takes us an hour and a half to get around just to do that. So, and I don't even think there is a connection that way up to that end of there. So, as well as the residents that go and recreate there.
Yes, I definitely understand the impact to the residents on the other side of the causeway. This is, right now, the only solution we have to completing it. Yeah.
It's going to be really nice.
Yes. All right.
Would you say, what percent of chance it happens in 2020 as opposed to is that a question for you?
I don't know that I have an accuracy. I think it depends who you ask what they anticipate happening. My engineer wants it to happen in 2020. It really depends on the regulatory agencies we're working with. Yeah.
If we were not to have it in 2020, would you be in danger of losing some of that 4.6 million in funding if it gets extended to 2021?
I have not heard that as a potential consequence, but that certainly would be a concern if that were the case. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. All right. Thanks.
Okay, appreciate the updates, Ewa. Moving on to item number 5, pedestrian improvements to State Highway 101. And I invite Dennis Angle from State DOT up.
Thank you for inviting me up. Last time I was here was before we did the public charrette. And so in May, we did a public charrette with a lot of the citizens, Commissioner Trask, and some of your staff. One of the things we told everyone was that in order to get improvements out here, to get the funding to do improvements, we need a document. And so we had this meeting, we received a lot of suggestions as to what they would like, the community would like to see, and we developed this document. I put copies back there so people can have copies of it. This was recently finalized and we emailed out to the county, so you have it. One of the things that I found that was really interesting is I've done this in other communities, and usually the communities want sidewalks through the entire town, they want speed limits lowered, they want landscaping, they want all these amenities. I was really impressed with how the folks of Hoodsport, they just want small things. They just want small improvements that'll make a big difference. One of the improvements was a crosswalk. At a couple different areas they wanted to put a crosswalk. One of them was a mid-block crosswalk, which we don't allow, we don't like those. But there was one at Schoolhouse Hill Road, and I'm happy to say that it's in. We just drove past it and saw that it's already been installed. That was due to our WashDOT Traffic Operations Group. They says, oh, okay, we'll put in that. Some of the other improvements, the community would like to see flashing beacons at the crosswalks. WashDOT is in the process of working an agreement with the county. County is going to fund it. WashDOT will, my understanding is we're going to go buy it, install it, and then maintain it for the county. We'll have a reimbursable agreement where you'll pay us back. I'm not sure if that's been signed, but I understand it's come before you. So it's really great to see this cooperation going on and the improvements being done out here. There's still a few other things they'd like to see, but that's stuff that can be worked on in the future. You know, like the speed limit, the sign for speed limits. And that's something that we've offered that we can help install. You know, and that's, when we do the installation, we're covering that cost. So there's some more things left to be done. So with that, is there any questions?
Just a comment. Thank you so much for all the work you do with us. You know, your professionalism and your eagerness to help all of our communities. It's not just here, it's everywhere in Mason County. Very much appreciated.
Yeah, I just
I want to thank you for putting in that extra crosswalk. I couldn't like it all decided, but people don't always see that crosswalk was there. Are you going to put some kind of hole to put flags on?
What's going to happen next is the Schoolhouse Hill. That's one of the three that's going to get the rapid flashing beacons.
Okay.
So
I came to hear that. Thank you very much.
I'll just say, can I go, Commissioner Nedlin's thanks. I appreciate you working so hard on this with not just our staff, but folks at the Port of Hoodsport. This was an issue that was initially brought to me by Kelly Hart, who worked at the library, and just had people come in and telling her how challenging it was at times to So it's really great to see it start from the constituent level, work its way through our partners at the state level, and then see the results that we're able to get through your hard work. cooperation with our staff and county. So I just really appreciate that. And, I think it's a big win for the people that cross 101 there. And you know, coming through Hoodsport, it's growing. We're going to continue to see, you know, more traffic come through. In particular, once, you know, we have some of these other projects happening as well that is going to continue to invite and encourage people to come to and through Hoodsport. So it's glad we're getting ahead of it. So appreciate your help on it.
Just wanted to say that the charrette was a lot of fun. And your diagrams and the maps on the table, that was pretty cool. And I was really impressed. And I wanted to say, the people in Hoodsport are amazing. They didn't want any drills. They just want to make it so that it's safe. And I appreciate your time and your effort, and the people in Hoodsport are stepping up and sharing.
May I make a comment? Have you ever walked through this park? Almost every business has a sidewalk, boardwalk, or a walkway so that you don't have to walk along the road when you walk through this park. You didn't need sidewalks.
And the answer is yes, I have walked through
Yeah,
Hoodsport.
so you know.
Our very first meeting that we had, we were asked to come out and meet with the port commissioners. And before that, one of the port commissioners wanted us out here to walk it. And so we walked it with one of the port commissioners and seen a lot of the concerns up front before we ever had the meeting.
Just quickly, was there any discussion with regard to traffic calming, getting people to slow down through there? I mean, I guess if I'm a business owner, I'd like people to slow down so they can see my business.
Yeah, there was some discussion on that, and some of the things that we talked about were things like having radar speed signs as you first come into town. There was also a lot of concern about on the north end as you're coming in, the 30-mile-an-hour sign is too far out. But since then, we've discovered our maintenance folks have already installed a 30-mile-an-hour sign just as you're coming into town. So that's helped too. And there was also some discussion about possible planter strips and different things like that.
Right.
So,
Okay, great. Thank you.
I just want to echo some of the comments already that have been made by our commissioners and Dennis. That I was really impressed with the community. I've been to a lot of these events just like Dennis, and it was really refreshing that the community came and they had really thought about the use of county funds and the state funds and how we could get what was necessary without going crazy and overboard. And so I appreciated being there at the charrette with those that were there and the great input. And also a thank you to Dennis and his staff, and also Dale, who's been working with us on the agreement, and Dave in our office. It was a good collaborative team effort with the community, the state, and our staff.
Very good. Thank you. Okay, moving on to item number 6, water quality. We have updates on the pollution identification and correction program.
Good afternoon, commissioners and residents of Hoodsport. Appreciate you guys inviting me out today to talk about water quality, and then we give some quick updates on what we've been doing in the Hood Canal and specifically the Hoodsport area. So the last 2 years, Mason County water quality staff has been doing PIC work, or defined as pollution identification and correction, in both in the Hoodsport area and also in the Big Bend, which is close to Holyoke. The gist of this work includes sampling for fecal coliform on our shorelines and streams, and an attempt to find non-point pollution sources. And then once those sources are identified, then we work on correcting those. So our non-point pollution sources include septic systems, pet waste, stormwater, agricultural, and wildlife. Mason County works closely with many stakeholders, including ecology, DOH, Squaxin tribes, Commerce tribe, the Conservation District, all attempt to identify and correct these pollution sources and improve overall water quality in Mason County. Not always, but often these hotspots can be related to septic system failures and issues. As we found with our work the past 2 years in Hoodsport, we've identified several failures and issues with septic systems, and we've been working with property owners and businesses to correct those issues. So it's gone over pretty well, I think, and we're corrected many systems. I think we just have a couple smaller outstanding things, but it's worked really well the past couple of years, and we're working with the owners on getting everything corrected and improving water quality in this water area. We do this work, we're funded through our Hood Canal Coordinating Council partnership. It's called the Hood Canal Regional Pollution Identification and Correction Group. We meet with the surrounding counties, several different tribes, conservation districts, all in an attempt to improve the Hood Canal water quality throughout several different counties. So we just wrapped up phase 3 of this in 2019, and it resulted in, I'm speaking in Mason County specifically, that resulted in 6.4 miles of shoreline sampled, 102 site visits, 9 OSS failures, and that includes the ones in Hoodsport, and 3 OSS repairs, which I believe we're up to 6 or 7 repairs now. And Mason County is working to resolve those outstanding repairs still. And the hopes of this is so the DOH can reevaluate the Hoodsport area and reopen it for commercial harvesting, which currently it is closed. It's been that way for many years, so it'd be a good sign of improved water quality if we can get that area opened up. In addition to the Hoodsport, we've mentioned also Big Bend, and I'm pleased to announce that DOH is working on reclassifying 17 acres of additional growing area in the Big Bend area as approved. And this also would include 8 parcel closures that would be removed. And this is due to our recent water quality and PIC work that we've done in the past couple of years in that region. We worked with many different stakeholders, a few citizens, several citizen meetings out of it, and we've done a lot of work, and overall we've seen improved sampling and water quality in the area. And so DOH is able to reassess that and hopefully open that up shortly. Just a quick talk. Mason County, a lot of our jurisdiction around non-point sources is related to septic systems. Mason County is one of the 12 Puget Sound counties required to inventory septic systems and track maintenance activities. We've identified about 99% of all the septic systems in Mason County, and we have about 26,000 septic systems that we track maintenance for. Most of these systems, 65%, are conventional gravity systems. As far as maintenance requirements, that varies depending on your system type, but it could be anywhere from 1 to 3 years for a maintenance inspection. Most of these systems can be inspected by the homeowner. We do allow that to meet state and local requirements. And yeah, anybody has any questions about our work here? Well, yeah.
Any questions for Alan? You said property owners can do that. What does that entail in regard to looking at septic systems? We have a lot of issues, at least up on the hill.
So we do allow homeowner inspections on simpler, non-complex septic systems, such as gravity, because most of our systems are gravity. That's why most systems can be inspected by the homeowner. So
they just looking for flow, or?
Yeah, so they'll open up the tank, they'll measure your sludge, your scum, inspect the tank for water tightness, look for cracks, make sure the system's flowing correctly. One of the things we do too is we partner with the WSU Extension Office, and we keep planning on putting on homeowner workshops where we do introduce more information on how to inspect these systems yourselves. We just had one of these in September, I think it was, in our Hoodsport library here.
Great, thank you.
Excellent. Any other questions for Alan?
Thanks, Alan.
Thank you, David.
Okay, moving on to item number 7, announcement of openings on various Mason County advisory boards. We have several vacancies on some of the boards that the county offers citizens in order to participate in decision-making in the government. And so we have handouts on the back table, I believe, back there that you can take with you and just kind of read through what the different advisory boards do, and what, if you feel like they are, if you have a background or skill set that might be helpful to that group's work, I encourage you to go online and apply to the vacant positions. Commissioner Netherland and I were planning commission members for a number of years. Commissioner Trask was very active with the budget advisory board that was happening last year. And so it's a great way to learn more about what your county's doing. It's an opportunity to give back if you have some extra time. We really do value the input that we get from the residents who step up to serve on those different committees. Commissioners, do you have any, can you make a pitch?
I also served on our TIPCAP, which are our Transportation Citizens Committee. And the two most important ones in the whole county, in my opinion, are the Planning Commission and that TIPCAP. That TIPCAP has a vacancy right now for somebody from this area. So if you want to have a say on what's going on and what potential improvements that you might need for your roads and your infrastructure out here, including trails and the like, this is a great one to be on. Luckily, you had a commissioner that was very active and was able to bring information to us. That's why we're able to put together these agreements with the state to do what we're doing. But it's really important to have somebody from the community bringing us these information on a regular basis. So please consider that.
I think I highly encourage participation. We can't do our jobs efficiently or effectively without help from you guys. And so please come and help, and we truly appreciate it.
Commissioners, would you have any objection to Dave making an announcement about? Dave, would you mind announcing the upcoming workshop that you're planning? Community Services, Dave, Public Works.
We got Dave's everywhere. Throw a rock, can't be easy.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. So in July, we talked about doing a community forum for builders, and this is not typically for our contractors. They're in our office all the time. They have a pretty good grasp of what we do. So we wanted to look at people who are doing their own residence, their own homes, they're building their dream home. They've never done a dream home before, and the process can be kind of overwhelming. So on the 14th of November from 4 to 7, at Public Works, we're going to have a residential development workshop. So when somebody shows up, they come in, and they'll be able to meet the permit techs, they'll be able to meet planners, building inspectors, environmental health specialists. We have a new program that we're using called SmartGov, which allows people to go in and do permits online. We're about to go live with that. Even now, if you have permits in the system, if you get updated to SmartGov, you go in and check your permits online to see where they are in the process. So it allows people to go in and really track where their stuff is in the process. This is a way for our community members and then the building department to really work together to have a better product when people turn in their permits. So there's less going back after engineering or other things. People know they need in advance, and we can both get a good product out of it and faster turnaround times on permits.
Great. So November 14th, there's flyers in the back. Take them with you. We've been really focused over the past several months on improving the permitting process at the county, and this is part of some of those reforms to just kind of better get out in the community and talk about the process and how to best navigate it. So I really encourage you to take the flyer with you and share it with your friends.
Thanks.
Okay, with that, we've reached the end of our agenda, so we will stand adjourned. Thanks, everybody.